Okay, so welcome every Nyan to the first NyanCast podcast, where we'll be covering various sides of VTubing and VTuber technology. And today, our main topic is going to be on how new people can get into VTubing. And today, with me here are, starting from this side, there is 𝐒𝐿𝐻𝐋𝐋𝐿. And then we have 𝐿UMKIDI. Then 𝐿ASSIHorse. Then we have 𝐿UNASERA. And 2.0. And yeah, welcome everyone as well. So, today I would say that our first topic is gonna be a very simple question. Why become a VTuber? Does anyone wanna start today?
What I ask myself every day.
I have nightmares about this question.
I didn't want to become a VTuber. It just kind of happened.
I kind of think that's actually
born
really
to be
true.
a VTuber.
Yeah. I mean, like
we all have
from a
paths, right?
From a practical perspective, like one of the biggest reasons to become a VTuber is if you need to like hide or protect your identity.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you are looking at streaming, but you, for whatever reason, just don't want to show yourself, to give too much information about yourself, anything like that, become a VTuber. It's a great reason. It's actually part of why I started as a VTuber as well. But
yeah, for me the same.
Yeah.
What does the opposite? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Have the floor.
I'm the opposite. I can be more my real self than I can in the real world. Because I meet out people in the real world, people look at me weird. I go, meow. Like, yeah, fine.
I think there's kind of an element of that for myself too, but it was more of it's like I wanted a way to present myself on stream in a kind of more fun and illustrative way than just simple cameras and props. Like, I feel like I could be a lot more creative with like a virtual character than I could be with a camera. So yeah, that was a big decision for me.
A lot of us that are VTubers too are also looking to express our true selves or be a gender that we're not, or all sorts of other things. There is definitely that aspect of it. So, and also some people just want to be anime waifus, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That is true. Yes.
And never underestimate the power of being able to go live without having to brush your hair or put any clothes on.
To be honest,
I actually have known camera streamers that have switched to VTubing for that specific reason. They got really tired of having to do all of the makeup and the prep work and everything.
For me, that is main reason for doing VTubing. I'm too lazy. Like, I'm lucky if I get my pants on during the day, and then I'm like, I want to stream, but I am not presentable like this.
I laugh, but I'm sitting here in my pajamas right now.
Am I the only one who actually like dust themselves up for, even though they're a VTuber? Like before I go live, I brush my teeth, I put in my contact lenses, I shave just to make sure that I'm presentable.
I mean,
even though
I do the basic necessities, but if I had to do makeup and really do my hair every time, I would go insane.
I did that for 2-3-ish years, and that's pretty much what it was like. Like I spent a lot of time on my hair. I would have to like make sure that beforehand I wasn't doing something that I would then need a shower, or like, so I had to like think about organizing my time around that, and then makeup, and I'd straighten my hair a lot, and clothes, different outfits.
But let me play devil's advocate here a little bit, because you do actually trade off a little bit of setup time to be a VTuber as well. Like there's a lot of other work you end up doing for VTubing that you wouldn't do as like you're just like doing makeup and stuff. So there is some trade-off. But I think I have a little more fun with the VTubing stuff than
I think that one comes into a later question too.
Yeah, we will actually go into that later today for all our people that are interested in becoming VTubers, hopefully.
It does kind of feed into what I think is another reason to get into VTubing, and why I got into VTubing is just the tech. Like the tech behind it, I think is very interesting, and then is what initially drew me, I think, into VTubing, and definitely into getting interested in using Venian. And
yeah.
I think your brain's pretty interesting.
Thank you. I think so too. I hate it. I make my job out of it. So
okay. So next, I would like to ask a question, kind of like, what do you guys think in 2026? Is it worthwhile to become a VTuber? This is kind of like for anyone interested in becoming VTuber, is there any potential of hitting it big? Because a lot of people, when they are like thinking about streaming, they're like, I'm gonna hit big and I'm gonna quit my job and so on. What do you guys think? Does VTubing still have this like a thingy it used to have?
Did you say no?
So let me unload here for a second.
Everybody.
Yes.
The market has saturated. We are well beyond the saturated point of the market. And if you're looking to hit it big, you are looking at this as a market. This is a business. If you are coming into a business that is extremely saturated, then that means that you have to spend a very large amount of money, and you will probably have to hire multiple people in order to make it big in this industry. Because the people that are making it big are coming in with lots of money. They're hiring teams to do clips, to manage all of the social media, to do all of this stuff so that they can focus on the part of doing the streams, doing the content, doing all of this. When over the last 5.5 years, I've learned that when people say they use all of the money to reinvest into their stream, what they really mean is that they're hiring people to do work for them. They are hiring editors, they are hiring graphics people, they are hiring people so that they can focus on what they need to do to make their content more, which a lot of times involves, going out and doing things during the day because you need to be able to talk about things.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff that goes into this. You have to be an interesting person. And guess what? You have to have time to be an interesting person. And if you don't have time to be an interesting person because you're editing and you're doing all of this work all the time, then you're never going to make it big. So that's strictly if you want to make it big. That's a big. That's a different though. That's different than just I want to VTube. Yeah.
Is it worthwhile to become a VTuber in 2026? And like, I think the whole argument or the thought of, well, it's too saturated. There's too many people in this space already. So you missed your chance, and it's too late to start. That's been the case for doing anything online for the past 10 to 15 years. Like it's been like too late to start YouTube forever, but people still do, and you still can. Like, yes, it is saturated, and the better time to start would have been yesterday. But
you can still have fun.
Still start.
Yeah,
and do it.
There's a huge difference between I want to do this for fun, because you should never not do something that you want to do for fun because you want to do it for fun. If you want to do VTubing for fun, today is as good a day as any day to do the VTubing thing. If you want to do it as a business, that's a totally different thing.
And because the market is oversaturated doesn't mean that you definitely won't make it big. It just means that the chances are more difficult, and you shouldn't go into it expecting to make it big with the intent to make it big.
And this applies to streaming in general.
Wait, hold on. There's a point I wanted to make about that is because it is 2026. There's a lot more tooling and applications and software that makes it more accessible to you now than ever before. So I would say it is actually somewhat more approachable now than it ever has been. So to me, I think it is worthwhile to check it out, at least, at the very least, check it out. Not from a career standpoint, but just if you enjoy it, you want to do it.
Yeah. This is the best
time. Give it a try.
Really great time for it.
Yeah. How long have all of us been doing this?
3 years for me.
Almost 6.
3.5.
Neo, how long have you been doing it?
Streaming since June. I've been getting into VTubers for 2 years now.
Okay. Lum?
3.5 years.
Okay. Suvi?
I think it's coming to 6 years this year.
Okay. I'm at 5.5. Alice?
Like 6, 7-ish years. 2019, 2020 is when I started.
And 2 Point?
Yeah, 3 years VTubing. I've been streaming longer, but yeah, it's just like so much has changed even in 3 years for VTubing.
Yeah.
It's going at light speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's picked up momentum significantly, and the tools have become. I mean, 6 years ago, VC Face didn't exist, and for anybody that's been into VTubing for a while, you remember that was like the standard for everything. Before that, it was like Love It and Face Rig.
A lot of people
and then
VR chat for the CPU, right?
And now in the last 3 years, we've seen VNyan come up and other stuff pop up, and now even VR chat is viable as like strictly a VTubing platform without needing VR equipment. Like things have changed significantly. Models are easier to get. There are more of them. It's easier to get outfits for them. Everything's higher quality. There's more free tools available.
That's also a thing with the community getting larger. It also means that there's more people who can contribute to the community, more people who come up with cool plugins and cool like new physics assets, things like that.
True that.
3-4 years ago, not a lot of people really knew what VTubers were even. And I feel like the acceptance was not as high. But these days, it's like everybody knows who VTubers are. And you see some of the top talents in like internet celebrities, if you want to call them that. Some of the top streamers now are VTubers. So to me, it is actually kind of a good time to get in it now.
Yep.
Before it's
actually
be even more saturated, as 𝐒𝐻𝐂 said.
It's interesting because the other day I had an experience of being on a charity event, and somebody that was in the stream was like, I thought we were done with VTubers already. Aren't they passé now? And I was like,
no.
Oh, no. What does that mean?
Still a couple of years ago, you used to like get the occasional new viewer on Twitch that would be like, what is this?
Yeah.
This is so weird. And then you have to explain what VTubing is. But this
and now that like never happens.
Yeah.
Now it's the opposite. Now they think that like, oh, aren't we past that?
Yeah.
I still have to explain what a VTuber is when I go to my day job. If it comes up about what I'm doing on Twitch. I wouldn't
Do you ever have to explain what Twitch is?
Well, yeah, that is true.
Very rarely, actually.
Yeah.
I do work in IT.
Oh, in IT, okay, yeah. That makes sense.
So that actually brings us to our next topic. What do you think is like essential for like a beginner VTuber, and how much should one be prepared to invest in VTubing when just beginning? Now, this can mainly include like hardware, software. Maybe we can cover assets partly in this one as well. Like, should you pay anything for your avatar? And how much should you be prepared to? Yes.
Yeah. I want to interject something really quickly, which is the one thing that you should have and that you should expect if you want to VTube is a willing to learn.
Absolutely.
You need to have a willingness to learn because none of this stuff is documented well. And you're going to have to figure things out on your own, or be, comfortable going into Discords and asking questions or things like that.
Yes.
I would say don't spend anything until you're sure you know it's for you. There's plenty of if you've got a smartphone and a headset, that is everything you need to start out and see if it's even something you want to do.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of secondhand VTuber equipment on various sites, 𝐒𝐿, eBay, because lots of people spend bought all the gear and then
I mean, you don't go ahead and buy all the gear right away.
No.
Yeah.
Decent microphone is probably
getting a model. Just try streaming for a bit or creating content and see what that's like. If you enjoy
on models, and definitely tinker and try things. Like try all kinds of things. Try 3D. Try 2D. Try PNG. There's no one size fits everybody. So like, don't invest too much and don't get locked into one thing right away. Like, actually experiment. To like what 𝐒𝐻𝐂 said is get those creative juices flowing, and experiment. See what you enjoy. See what sticks with you.
Yep. And don't. My biggest warning about this, and I talk a lot, is don't fall into what I call the HoloLive or the Live 2D trap of you have to have everything ready. It has to be perfect. You have to have a big debut. You don't know. All you have to do is download OBS and hit go live. That's all you have to do.
Yes.
And you don't even have to start as a VTuber. You could go live with nothing and just like share a game. You could even just share a black screen and talk. Okay? Little steps. Just start slow, add a PNG, try that. Do you like it? No. Try a 3D model. Do you like it? No. Live 2D? No. Like once you figure stuff out, you can always just change your stream name to something else.
Yeah,
a lot of us have multiple. So
I've seen people who started out just using 2 Pike-View images as a PNG tuber.
Yep.
And it works fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest that.
Anything to invest in first, I think it's always like a microphone. And it doesn't even have to be an expensive one at all. Just anything to sound okay.
Yeah, you can get fine farming filters.
Expensive.
And realistically, a camera. And that's really all you need besides OBS.
So
I would disagree on the camera.
Yeah, I was going to say for VTubing,
I know a lot of streamers who never use cameras.
You don't necessarily want a camera. You don't want a web camera in most cases. You want a phone, and you want your phone either set up as a web camera or you want your phone set up to do tracking through a VTubing app. You should honestly,
good point.
You should honestly webcams are going to give you the worst experience with VTubing.
Yes.
If you have access to it, you want an iPhone, specifically an iPhone with Face ID.
Yeah,
that's a lot of iPhones now. That's a lot of iPhones now. You might know somebody that has one that you can just borrow or take. It doesn't. You don't have to go buy a new iPhone.
Yeah,
for like $100 used. You know, this is the best experience. If not, maybe you have an Android device that supports VTube Studio. That works.
Even if you don't, just use something like Droid Cam, which emulates a web camera, and do the webcam tracking that way. It will still be better than an actual webcam. Webcams are garbage.
Yes. Yeah. Basically, when you get down to it, the problem is that for whatever reason, webcams haven't really changed much in the last 15 years, and so they're all kind of potatoes, unless you're spending hundreds of dollars. And by that point, if you're VTubing specifically, the iPhone is a better solution at half the price.
But I did the math on this. The cost of a half decent camera and the lighting to run it is the same price as buying a second-hand iPhone 10 with a bit of smash screen on it or something, or maybe a weak battery. So long as Face ID in the front camera and the touchscreen and the Wi-Fi work.
Yeah, also
doesn't matter what state it's in.
Also, web camera, if you buy one of those high-end ones, your VTuber app might actually not be able to utilize it anyway, the way it should be used. So you're basically wasting money there.
Yeah. If I see people asking about webcam recommendations, I always say don't go further than 480, maybe 720 if you need it. Don't bother with 60 FPS. 30 is all you're going to use anyway. And anything more is also just going to eat up the resources on your PC. Because I think that's the main advantage of using a phone, is that your phone does all the tracking processing. So you're offloading a lot of the computational needs that are, VTubing isn't as heavy as some people like to say, but it's still like running a graphics process.
Yeah,
so the more you can offload onto something else, the better.
The VTubing tracking processing can be the difference between running your stream comfortably at 60 frames a second and dropping frames and having things be on the just right on that line of not enough quality. So the less your PC does when streaming, the better, which means that if you have an option for a little bit more money over a webcam to make sure that your PC is doing less, you should do that option.
Yeah, the phone essentially the phone offloads the processing from your PC to do the face tracking. And it actually, one of the reasons why we're also suggesting the phone is because it does much better or much more accurate face tracking than a standard webcam does. That's a really important distinction to make.
Yes.
So for reference, I use webcam for tracking, and it's using on my 9700X, Ryzen 9700X, it's using an entire core.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's
or
heavy.
entire thread, I should say. So
yeah, we used to
half a core.
say that you would have to add somewhere between 10 and 20% to cover, the whatever the entire requirement for a stream would be to run webcam tracking. And 10% is a lot. 20% would be an older system, but I mean, like, both of those are still a huge amount of resources to be spending on webcam tracking. And especially if you don't have a webcam and you're looking at spending, $60, $70, go to Swappa if you're in the US, go to other markets, if you're outside of the US, and get a used iPhone 10 or XR or 11 for $100. And it's literally the standard. It's literally plug and play and works with anything. It takes so much. Not only do you offload resources, not only does it work better, but it is the standard. It is the expected. It is designed out of the box to work with all of the VTubing apps and setups and everything. And it works across all operating systems. Like this is, I talk to people about this a lot, and people get upset about the extra cost, but it's like, you gain so much. And I know a lot of us hate Apple. I hate Apple. But there is no other option, really. Yeah. There's no equivalent. It's why the motion capture industry for games are using iPhones.
The only alternative is to make your own app that makes use of these kind of distance cameras that are being used in the iPhone case. Yeah, because a lot of webcams have that nowadays, and Android phone or like non-Apple phones have them as well. It's just that there's no apps that make use of it.
There is no standard anything for it, so nobody's going to make software for those.
Yeah, because there's no reason for it. It just there's
too niche.
Yeah, too niche. Like, people think VTubing is big, but it's not. When you get down to the matter of fact, like, if you're talking about making a dedicated device for VTubing, it's not a big enough market.
It's not a big enough consumer base for it.
Yeah.
That kind of business, really.
Yeah, essentially you have to be targeting like the motion capture industry as a whole.
But it is growing.
It is.
Potential.
It is.
Okay, next topic. So this is going to I think we all like it. We're all 3D VTubers here, but what you guys would say is like 2D, 3D pros and cons for a new VTuber? Obviously, everybody should make their own decision what to choose. What would you guys say about this?
Ultimately, right? Like the way that like the models are put together and the way that the systems go in place are totally different. I've always really liked 3D for kind of getting a lot of inherent like properties just by being a three-dimensional object that you can get multiple angles of, that you can pose in different ways.
Yeah.
And you don't need to create new assets to do those poses or to get those different things. It's like kind of
you don't have to manually implement your physics for everything.
Well, we do have to implement our physics in different things. It's just
you don't have to manually animate all of your physics. There we go.
Yeah.
I feel like 3D is actually more accessible and lower cost to get started with. That doesn't necessarily mean the ceiling is also lower, but things like Void have made 3D.
That's a loaded question because of the hardware involved. If you want to go further,
there's some misconceptions there, which is that a lot of people don't know about all of the really inexpensive customizable live 2D models that there are now. There's also an entire market on Booth of pre-made live 2D stuff that's like moderately customizable. And when I say inexpensive, to like $30 or less for some of these. So essentially live 2D has hit that kind of parity point with 3D of you don't have to spend a whole lot to get into it. And the other thing too is that with live 2D, you can make it work with just a microphone. It's not going to be as expressive, but it can do all of the mouth movements and you can automate blinking and things like that. So that does kind of change the value proposition a lot. And
I believe that
a lot of that you can also do in 3D, like idle animations, automatic animations.
I believe that 2D versus 3D, you're going to be doing a lot of work either way. So I think what it would really come down to is your personal preference of like stylistic choice. That's why I say definitely try things. You could try 2D, you could try 3D, see what speaks to your soul, what you like the most. Or you could go even further and you could make a 3D look like a 2D model with shaders, like Sufi's models.
Or you could just have both.
Yeah.
I think both actually.
I think one big benefit, I think it ties into what Alice was saying earlier, is that with 3D, you can use it beyond just VTubing, right? Like you can put your 3D VTubing, if you put a little bit of work into it, into MMD or VR chat, and you can do like funny dances with it. If you have a VRM, you can maybe even mod it into a game. I know a VTuber who has modded Sekiro, I think. Oh yeah, you too as well. You also do a lot of modding.
I've seen Seahorse do Dead by Daylight, or what is that? What it is?
7 days.
7 days.
Myself.
7 days with your YouTube model.
Yeah. Also, Bomb Rush, Cyberpunk, Valheim. A ton of games allow you to put your VTube model in. Basically, if it's a Unity game, you can probably put your model into it.
Yeah,
I think. Also, if you want to do VR streams, 3D is so much easier because you can use the same hardware.
Oh, that's actually a good thing to raise. Is if your ultimate goal is to have like a full body tracking setup, you're gonna want to go with 3D, because with the 2D, that's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be awkward because at some point you're going to have to change from a live 2D to a 3D model to accommodate for that. Or maintain both. And even then there's a consistency difference that can be jarring to some people. And I'm not saying you have to care about everyone, but it is something to consider when you're looking at this. And if your ultimate goal is full body tracking, VR, that kind of stuff, there's not a huge reason to go with Live 2D in the first place. You're better off starting with a 3D model and figuring out the different versions of a 3D model, the different ways to present it, the different shaders, so you can have a more Live 2D or anime-like, or if you want something more realistic, or if you want a furry model, or if you want to be a brain in a...
The options are endless.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason to go with 2D would be because you like that stylistic design approach, right? Because it is a different design approach.
It is. And
there's nothing wrong with that. It's just different.
It's just different.
What I wanted to mention too, I'm not as familiar with making Live 2D models, so I can't speak as much on this, but I think you need to use Live 2D cubism.
You do.
Pretty much, yes. Software to use it, which is a paid thing. So there's less kind of open.
It's pretty much a monopoly.
To making it yourself.
You can make a 3D model entirely for free. All the software you need for it, all of it has free options.
Free and open source tools.
That's a big thing with Live 2D is it's a completely separate skill set. It is behind a paywall, closed source software. It's tied to a single company. Which means that there's a lot of, maybe not a lot of risk, but it could very suddenly dead end. Whereas with 3D, it's an entirely open thing. The other thing too is that these resources translate to a lot of other worlds, to game development, to movies, to there is the skills you learn doing 3D VTubing are not limited.
Very, very true.
I feel like we need a representative 2D VTuber to argue the.
Well, I was going to say not for Cubism, but as another shout out or a different shout out, VTube is also an option. I think their newer version, because I know the devs were working on a revamp away from or better than the mini version, that honestly adds a lot of really cool things that if I was going to be a 2D VTuber, I would probably look at that and building out a very interesting PNG thing rather than going to Live 2D, because I think you could do a lot of what you could do with Cubism in that instead.
I think PNG VTubing is far more exciting than Live 2D. Honestly.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like we've seen so much of Live 2D, but the PNG tubers you can do so much with it, and it's visually very.
I've actually been wanting to make a PNG tuber of my own at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, because if you look at some of the really, really stylistic, creative VTubers, a lot of times you'll find out they're actually PNG VTubers that are controlled by like a Stream Deck, and like 9 buttons, 12 buttons, things like that,
or even by facial expressions. I know a PNG tuber who does all their expressions via face tracking.
Oh.
Yep.
Because you can get everything in there.
Yeah.
So much creativity out there.
PNG thing.
Yeah, I think this brings us actually to the next topic, which is like what technical skills are needed to do VTubing. Because, well, we did cover the 2D here. It tends to be easier for 2D.
Breathing.
You basically get the model and you use it. But with 3D VTubing, you are, I guess, pretty quickly developing skills that you could use in game development.
Yeah. I think
Sorry.
skills. I was going to say like skills that are required or needed. I would say none necessarily, but in the case of 3D, as 𝐒𝐎𝐿 said earlier, at least the willingness to learn. Because if it comes to 3D VTubing, especially, you're gonna need it.
Yeah, most likely Unity at least.
I gotta admit, I might sound like a boomer complaining here, but I would say general IT desktop computer skills. If your main IT experience is a phone, you're gonna run into problems. If you need to know your way around a file system to edit JSON config files, things that a lot of us probably take for granted, you are not everyone knows.
Yeah, through configuring your firewall to get the tracking from phone to PC and so on.
I have a lot of
certain things.
I have a lot of VTuber friends that have absolutely zero technical skills, so I don't think you really need them. But if you have the ability to talk to other people and ask for help, I think that will get you far if you don't have the technical skills. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Absolutely.
Willingness to learn is really the big one.
Exactly.
And the willingness to break things.
Yes.
Yeah. Pro tip for all of y'all out there that are starting, if you go 3D and you're using VNyan, you can run it in portable mode. Portable mode means that all of the config is stored locally in that directory. So you can make a copy of it before you do something really dumb. And then if the really dumb thing breaks, you have that other copy that still works. This also applies to OBS. This also applies to OBS, which means that anytime you need to upgrade OBS, anytime you need to do anything to it, if something breaks, you have the previous version. If you run it in the portable mode. Portable mode is your friend, and good backup practice is your friend. It will get you out of so many problems, and it is literally free. It is literally free. Just do the thing. But don't be afraid to break things. That's how you're going to learn stuff, and asking questions. These communities are really friendly. If you get into the I don't even want to say right ones. If you end up somewhere where people are not friendly about you asking how to do a thing, leave it and go somewhere else.
Absolutely,
yeah.
That's the wrong place. Yeah.
Definitely agree.
Okay, so next, a little bit less a technological question, I suppose. What would you guys say? What or which platforms are good for new VTubers in this time and age?
Which?
I mean, like a streaming platform.
Yeah, Twitch. I mean, I think Twitch over YouTube for VTubing too. Well, I mean,
it depends.
I don't see enough.
I say diversify.
YouTube in general feels very. Diversify is really the answer.
Diversify is really the answer. I feel like this is kind of a loaded question right now because, yesterday there were huge changes to TikTok, so TikTok is questionable. A lot of things. Basically, anything other than Twitch and YouTube doesn't really, unless you're doing something very specific and you're not going for like a broad audience or discoverability or something like that. If it's not Twitch and it's not YouTube, you have to know a very specific reason why you're targeting those things. Twitch is going to be better in general for VTubing as a live stream. YouTube will be better for making videos and pre-recorded content. And you can stream to both at the same time.
So from what I've heard, I don't stream on YouTube myself, but from what I've heard, YouTube is better for discoverability, also for live stream if you're live streaming. Supposedly.
not for live stream discoverability.
Okay.
Yeah, I have
Not at
never
all.
found
Okay,
a live
no,
stream on
fair enough.
YouTube.
It's,
So basically,
it's the offline content, or like not the offline,
Yeah.
content, but like the
Okay.
non-streamed content
Right.
that helps and like
Yeah.
synergizes together. But the stream itself
Right.
is kind of just out there in the ether.
yeah. So
Okay.
basically,
Yeah.
as far as I can tell from doing simul streams or simulcasting to YouTube and Twitch, basically what happens is YouTube treats your stream the same way that it treats a video. So there's a
Yeah.
limited window in which it promotes it, and if you don't hit the number within that time, then it stops promoting it completely, and people have to manually find the stream. And there's no real tooling on YouTube to find streams specifically. You
Yeah,
basically have to go
Yeah.
enter a manual term into the search field, and then you just kind of sift through what's
I
live.
see.
I feel like
so if-
YouTube live
Yeah.
streaming is good if you're already a big, well-known creator.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
But for
If you're doing,
Twitch,
if you're already
is
doing
so
something
much
on
better
YouTube,
for the
then
community.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I was going to say as well. Like Twitch is much better for viewer interaction, right? If you hit affiliate, you have access to channel points.
Yeah,
and,
true that.
Things like that.
Twitch is
but
also from
don't
my-
forget to use stuff like a Blue Sky. You could even make VTuber content for Blue Sky and build social connections there too. This is also probably very important for new VTubers, is to be on your socials as well.
Yeah,
And-
if we want to talk about growth strategy, that's how I did it. Was back in 2020 and 2021. Is like Twitter at the time drove most of my growth and discovery, but it's that be a part of a community and become known for things kind of stuff. Also, I want to add, Twitch is surprisingly, I would say, a safer platform for a lot of people that are VTubing.
Yep.
I find that there is a lot of hatred on YouTube for people that are starting out, and it's much more of a struggle if you're essentially a marginalized creator in any version of that word. Whereas Twitch seems to be much more friendly to that, which is not what I expected, even remotely. And
I was so surprised by that myself.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A different benefit of Twitch is also there's a lot more in terms of like bots and plugins and stuff. Also in terms of accessibility, I think, than there are available for YouTube, at least for live streaming stuff, right? You have even if so.
Yeah.
So I said earlier, if you're an affiliate, you have access to channel points. If you're not an affiliate, you have things like Mix It Up that kind of fill the same purpose.
There's basically nothing equivalent on YouTube. Even if you're a big creator, you essentially have to get some. We're still not sure how this all works, but we know that some creators essentially get some sort of special API access that allows things like Vignon to work much closer to how they do on Twitch. But
Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't heard that.
No. That would be through like an API key, but YouTube's APIs have this token limit which runs out in 15 minutes if you try to get use it. So no.
Yeah, basically, and when I say big creator, I mean like big.
They are likely
creator.
using StreamerBot or some other YouTube capable bot, I would guess.
They don't really have anything. They don't have fun streamer toys.
Yeah.
No, and they've had so much time to figure that out and do that.
Yeah.
Well, we say not yet, but it's been so long.
Yeah, they are very glacially slow.
Ludwig has spent a lot of time at some point making a thing, right? There's a third-party extension that he made or was involved in making to do all that stuff, and that was years ago.
That was years ago. That was right before YouTube gave up on live streaming to do shorts, which is literally what happened.
That's basically what happened.
I think currently live streaming is not YouTube's priority and hasn't been for a long time, and it especially isn't now.
Yeah,
I bought a bunch of people
was
from in, and then they kind of dropped them.
Yeah, it was 3 years ago. Yeah, what is time? But basically, if you go back, you can see the language change in YouTube presentations, and suddenly they just stop mentioning live streaming completely.
Well, yeah, and they were floating live streams up on the page, but now it's shorts front and center. It's definitely changed tone completely.
Now, to be fair, the
especially last,
streams,
6 months.
the streams do still surface if you're subscribed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of a dead end if you're finding new people and discoverability for streams.
So Twitch is what I'm hearing.
If you want content, go for YouTube, I guess.
I think you'll have the most fun on Twitch.
Or just YouTube. I mean, like main content. Even if main content right now is not is also struggling because of the short content, I think that's still the long term. Like you make YouTube stuff that's gonna be around for however long.
And there's kind of a pushback against short content right now because of slop.
Yes.
And especially on YouTube. It's just such a problem that people are like just avoiding it entirely. So even if you're doing short content, it may be better to just make it as a normal video.
Yeah.
Right.
But yes, using multiple platforms is a good idea. When I started content creation, back then everybody was telling you need to use both Twitch and YouTube and try to funnel in people from YouTube to Twitch and do the same with Twitter and whatever other options were available. I'm guessing the same still applies.
Pretty much.
There's principle. Yeah.
I saw a creator explain it really well recently, and basically he said there's essentially 3 categories, which is the really, really like broad TikTok, Instagram, YouTube short, where people are just scrolling through stuff rapidly. And then you have the middle, which is just normal YouTube. And then you have essentially Twitch. And strangely, he compared it to Patreon. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad comparison, because essentially what he considers it is this tier is essentially the hyper specialized. They know exactly who you are and they are there to support you directly. Kind of through this very specific platform. And essentially what you find is that short form content, so TikTok, Instagram, YouTube shorts will have almost no conversions because people aren't in a mindset where they're going to interrupt their scrolling to leave. It's why conversion from those are so difficult. YouTube, non-shorts, is actually the perfect thing because you're discoverable. And people are usually browsing in a way where they can take a second and go somewhere else. Go to a Patreon, go to a Twitch, go to a coffee, go to something else, and then follow you there. Whereas all of these over here have very little discovery because people are usually not looking for people on these specific things. They're there for something else.
I think that also depends on what sort of content you're creating as well, because I started out as a retro gaming streamer in quite a specific niche, and I'm going to age myself here, but when I post about like some of the games I'm doing, I've actually had quite a few people come from Facebook because
that's where huge groups are.
Because I'm streaming like from a home computer from 1981. So most people who are interested in stuff from that are going to be over 40. They're all on Facebook. Now, I wouldn't recommend that for the majority of people, but if you're in a specific niche, I mean, obviously don't just spam Facebook groups. You'll just annoy the hell out of everybody in all the forums. But if you're active in those communities anyway, and just like have your Twitch link in your signature if it's a forum, or just like, hey, I finished this game that no one's finished. Here's a screenshot, and it's obviously from a Twitch stream. And I've had people come in that way.
Everyone needs the feature in their social media platform that shows when you're live somewhere so that you don't have to annoy people in a community. They can just go, I like this person. They're streaming. Oh, cool.
But which more platforms have that feature?
All right. Hey, friends. I got to disappear to a dance floor somewhere out there on the ether waves. Thank you for chatting with
fun.
me.
Thank you for joining today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great rest of your discussion.
Okay. So the next thingy, we kind of did cover this mainly, but what would you guys say as simple steps to become a VTuber in 2026?
Get yourself OBS.
Yep. Download OBS.
Something, whether it's a PNG or a free model.
Make an account on Twitch.
Probably get VNyan unless you're doing live 2D, I guess. And then maybe not profit because you're probably not going to profit, but you know, go live, have fun.
make yourself a goal. If you're doing this monetarily for whatever, don't do this for money. This is for fun. Do this for fun, and if you succeed, poggers. But like one of my first goals monetarily was just to be able to buy myself like a taco meal, like an $8.99 taco combo. Like just do something fun like that. Just make yourself little things, or like, set a goal to buy a new streaming thing, or maybe get a new base model for like your stream or something like that. But yeah, just download OBS, go live, and have fun.
In general, this is not even VTubing specific, but in general, when it comes to setting goals, I would always recommend to not set goals that rely on outside factors, right?
Exactly.
Like,
yes.
If your goal is to make a certain amount of money, or or have a certain amount of followers, you don't really control that. There's things you can do to improve your chances, sure, but ultimately that is in the hands of other people. The goals that you should look into setting for yourself in that case are like certain kinds of content that you want to make, certain games that you want to play,
how much you want to stream,
how much you want to stream, exactly.
Yeah, I would say be very careful.
Death.
Yeah, be very careful worrying about numbers as well, because a mistake I've seen quite often is people say, well, I made a TikTok and it got 10,000 views. I went on Twitch and I got 3 views. And the thing you need to realize is you do a 4-hour Twitch stream and you get 3 viewers. That's 12 hours of people's lives that they have given to watching you. If you make a 30-second TikTok and you get 1,000 viewers, it's significantly less because people just scroll and move on. You can't compare numbers between streaming and other forms of content. And also,
like numbers are a very fickle thing. If you look at viewership, like there are trends throughout the year in viewership, right? During the summer, viewership is usually higher because kids are out of school. It's summer vacation. People have a lot more spare time to look at streams. And then usually when school starts, you see a lot of people, their viewership just plummets.
It's actually not that true either, because
it can also be the other way. People go out of the house and they don't stay
the other
indoors.
way. But my point mainly being that there are outside factors that you cannot control that drastically affect your viewership. And if you're
platform
worried,
can suddenly change the way that they measure viewer statistics, and your numbers drop by 20 to 30% overnight, and you have no idea why for a month, and you get into a horrible depressive funk, and you can't deal with anything because your entire brain and existence is tied to a number.
Thank you, Twitch. Okay, so that actually
to be a little bit more like, though, to start with like any form of streaming and to have a goal, this is the basic formula, which is download OBS, go live, figure out what you like and what you don't like, and then a goal that you have should be to eliminate something that you don't like, or to find something that you like and make it better. That's the immediate thing. That's just the best way to start, and you'd be surprised how quickly you'll figure out very quickly doing that if this is for you or this is not for you.
And that actually brings us to the next topic: how to grow as a new VTuber, like networking, social media, or just like, is there something specific you should do on your streams to potentially grow?
What I've noticed for me that helped a lot in getting some initial viewership, at least, is playing games with a cult following. I think games like Celeste, The Witness, Outer Wilds. These are games that are like, there are people actively out there who look for these, who look for people who play these games, and they don't care if you have 3 viewers or 1,000 viewers. They, especially with a game like the Outer Wilds, they are looking for someone who they can vicariously experience the game for the first time. Or again.
Yes.
I had this experience with Subnautica back in the day as well.
Oh,
Hollow Knight's a good one for this.
Well, yeah.
For me, it was Final Fantasy 14.
Also true. Yeah. But that is very true. There's essentially like two kinds of viewers. There's essentially the category or the game viewer, and then the person that's there for you. And some people are specifically starting to look for a streamer to watch, but other people are specifically looking to watch a game and a streamer play that game, kind of thing.
And you can convert someone who is a category watcher.
Exactly.
You can. It won't happen all the time, but for sure. That
also gets into the numbers are fickle thing.
Yeah, one of my regulars, absolutely lovely person, but when she came to my channel, she'd never even actually watched Twitch before. She was really into Danganronpa. I posted on Mastodon under that hashtag, and she came along, and she's absolutely great, and she comes to all my streams now. It's
nice.
Always feels really nice when that happens.
If you want to grow too, social media is a necessary evil.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do
that. Probably also avoid extremely saturated categories that don't look like. I'd say Fortnite is probably a good example, because I had this conversation with somebody at work whose kid wanted to be streaming, and it was like, look at this category. There's this one guy, Ninja, who has 10,000 viewers, and everybody else is like 3, 2, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Yeah, and how far does
look
the list go?
As somebody that started as a Fortnite streamer, okay, I can say 100% absolutely that's true.
Don't. I think usually it's not that worth streaming like whatever newest game comes out, especially if it's really big. Like if your intention is to stream it at least for catching viewership from it being a big category, that's probably not going to happen. It's probably you're probably going to find the opposite, that people feel either burnt out by it being everywhere already, so they might not want to watch it, or maybe they don't want spoilers. And you're going to be very low in the category regardless.
I'm going to say a thing, which is I feel like this entire podcast needs to be prefixed with we are talking about one of two different routes, because there's a very different way to do all of this depending on what it is you're looking for. If you are looking to do this as a career or to make money or things like that, the answer to this question is very different than if you are just doing this as a person that wants to stream. And there is the point where the two intersect. Like this is actually this is a thing that happens, and honestly that's usually where people become big. But in all honesty, the thing that you should do to grow is to unabashedly be yourself. Like if you are not yourself and you are not comfortable and you are not playing games that you want to play, everyone is going to notice and they're going to leave.
I was going to say with my comment on like games with cult following, it's critical that they are games that you enjoy, though. If someone wants to watch someone play a game that they have loved in the past, and you're playing it and you're sitting there and you're just being cranky and frustrated and whatever, they're not going to enjoy watching you, and they're not going to stick around, right?
Unless there's like getting over it.
Like a rage game where the point is to get angry and frustrated, sure. But
the other side to that, though, is if you're approaching it as a like, I am here to play this essentially as a review experience or as a critique or something like that, and your experience is negative, as long as you're explaining why it's negative, because you're essentially reviewing the thing from your perspective, then that can be okay too. Like whenever I get a game that is provided to me by the publisher, or I get from a key site or things like that, that's usually the mentality I go into it with, of like, hey, I'm reviewing this game. I may not like it. I'm going to have critical things to say about it, but good critical and bad critical. Like there are ways to spin things like that. But I would say too, to a certain extent, that still means that you're enjoying that act of streaming. You're not, the act of streaming itself is still enjoyable to you, and your audience are getting a specific thing from that stream that is essentially a net positive.
But I think the viewership, or at least the kind of growth that you get from both, is going to be different. Like the audience that you would cultivate with either is going to be different.
The other thing
then
too is
outside streaming, like let's say on Blue Sky and these other like platforms where you are not necessarily live. How to grow on Blue Sky? How to funnel people from Blue Sky to your streams or Twitter?
Be funny, I guess.
I mean, like, do
Just
you
be funny for it.
do you want the real answers or do you want the like podcast friendly answers?
I mean, this is edited, right? This is all going to be edited. We can say whatever we want, and Subi has to cut it out.
We can edit and post.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I mean, like, really, if you want to grow,
So when we
the
cut
growth
from the
strategy for like anywhere is to just be. That's how you grow.
We'll have to edit that one out. But like, I think probably like one way not to grow is to take part in all these biting threads, like where people are like VTubers post your avatars or stuff that you keep seeing still around every now and then.
Oh, the engagement bait.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Engagement bait has, like, I say that and it's that kind of stuff. It does have a very negative connotation to it, but some of it's just fun. Like, there's definitely some where like, it's just like, yeah, just don't do that. But some of it's just like, hey, show the eyes of your model. And that stuff can be fun. People get to see like an up close part of your model that they may not get to see. And there's, some of the stuff too of like, tell me your 5 favorite games. Like, that stuff is also kind of innocent and can lead to discussions, and people will go, wait, I really like the 5 games that this person likes. Maybe I should, like tell them, hey, I really like Chrono Trigger. Hi, I'm old. But like some of that is okay. And I think it's, again, one of those be unabashedly yourself. And depending, and some of it too depends on the audience that you want to have, because you can grow an audience doing very negative things, but then you're going to have a very negative audience if you do that. And then you can grow an audience doing very positive things, very funny things, stuff like that. There are lots of ways to grow an audience. It's more about building the audience that you want to have and that you're comfortable being around.
Absolutely.
But Seahorse, how do you be yourself? What happens if you want to be yourself, but yourself is very antisocial and doesn't like Blue Sky or posting anywhere?
Then you apparently make meme videos on YouTube and express yourself that way and reach out to your audience through very authentic content.
Yeah, thank you.
That's the podcast.
I don't know why I didn't expect that to be your response.
Hashtag get loved and supported, nerd. Oh my god, your tail is wagging so much right now.
Oh no. Yeah, I suppose this brings us to like, what is a good mindset to have as a new VTuber? Like, like how do you approach it? Are you there to make friends with other VTubers? I remember when I started, a lot of people just joined it to make friends with other VTubers rather than actually like thinking of building a community and becoming a streamer rather than,
I think part of what we've already mentioned a couple of times, like, don't get into it with the expectation of making it big. Do it as a hobby. I think if you go, I think it's a good attitude to go into it hoping to make friends in the community. I don't think it's a good attitude to go into it thinking that you're going to be friends with your Oshi.
Hey, don't do that. Your Oshi will hate you. Don't do it.
Exactly. Like
as somebody that's been on the other end of that, don't do it. Do not ever do it.
Getting into it with like the attitude of like, I'm gonna meet people, I'm gonna raid people, hang out in their chat, and slowly and surely we're gonna develop a relationship of some kind. Perfect, great, healthy. Not like a friendly relationship, not a romantic relationship. But if you're going into it like I'm gonna target this person and I'm gonna be their friend, that's not gonna. No.
Yeah, I think because people always talk about networking, and yes, but I think it's got to be genuine. It's like I've raided people randomly and we've really hit it off, become friends, not because I was like wanting to like leech off their success or anything like that, but just because I liked the game that they were playing and they seemed cool. And it's got to be real. If you're just trying to network for the sake of getting collabs, people are going to hate you. And even if you do get a collab, you're going to have nothing in common. You're not going to gel together. You're not going to be able to have a laugh because you don't know each other really.
there's a way to do essentially the business networking style of thing, but you need to be very clear that you are business networking, because if you're business networking and you end up networking with somebody that explicitly thinks that you're going to be their friend, bad things happen. And that's been a very common thing that's happened within the space. There's also business networking without knowing how to do it, and then you just look like you're, quote, clout chasing, unquote, and nobody likes that either. I'm going to come back to you should just have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you have fun, you generally will meet other people in the process that enjoy being around you and that you enjoy being around because you're both having fun. It will encourage a natural just interaction. Raids can happen, but just have fun. Just the entire key to streaming is having fun. If you're not having fun, everybody knows and everything's going to be forced and you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, so then kind of to sum it all up today, we kind of answered this already many times, but is VTubing a good idea to try in 2026? Let's say just like pick a new hobby or something.
Sure.
Why not?
Try, sure, why not?
Yeah.
If it looks
If you want to,
absolutely.
yes.
Mhm.
If
You
you're
can be
like,
the waifu of your dreams.
yeah, if you're like, I want to be a waifu
Yeah.
on the internet, then yes, 100% do the thing.
That
Absolutely.
was exactly my motivation.
That was my
I want to be
motivation
a
too.
cat. I want to be a cat girl and nerd about retro games.
Yeah.
Yes, great idea.
Yeah, I saw.
And here you are.
Yeah, look at that cat girl.
Yeah.
The furry form, the kimono mimi form. Look,
Little
like
bit
look
not
at the
cat, but
representation.
We got the whole
Actually,
range.
it's kind of funny because there's the like stepping stone from Lum to Suvi to me.
I was going to say, we have the full spectrum of furries
And a
on
brain.
display here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely worth to try still, even though it's not a new thing.
It's lots of fun, and there's lots of things, especially to 3D VTubing, that you never would have thought about, and there are lots of ways that it can go. You could honestly find yourself with a job as a professional game dev or 3D modeler or like all sorts of other things just because, hey, I want to try VTubing. There's just a lot of stuff that you can find yourself doing as part of this hobby.
And then one final extra question for our viewers that might now have gotten interested in VTubing. If you now want to start it, what are the resources? Where should you go to find more information in addition to this specific YouTube channel?
The Venian Discord.
Venian Discord.
Reveal.itch.io.
Not biased at all, but yes, Venian Discord. We have the details down in the
I hope my
description
tag
as
is in
well.
the mail.
I would also say
Is
Blue
this where
Sky
we
is
all plug our
probably a good
GitHubs?
place.
There's the VTuber Tech subreddit.
I was about to say VTuber Tech subreddit is one that there's a lot of information there.
Yes, Neo is very active there from what I've seen.
I was also going to say I prowl there very regularly.
Yeah.
To help.
To be honest, it's kind of a problem that we don't have that many places that people can go and find information openly and freely about this. A lot of it has ended up consolidated into Discord communities.
Yeah.
And consolidated, it's not archived or documented. There's a lot of information that's just kind of there, and you really have to dig for it to find
really
it.
have
There's a
to
lot
dig
of
for
solutions
it.
that have been like redone.
There is a
because of
Venian
that, I
wiki.
think.
If you would like to contribute, please, please do.
Thank you.
Please,
We'll put the
somebody.
wiki link in the description as well.
And Suvi made a Blue Sky list of tech VTubers.
Oh yeah, we do have that too. Definitely
Yeah.
check it out. It's on Blue Sky. Maybe I can get the link down there as well. But yeah,
Link in the
thank you
description below.
all.
Don't forget to
Thank
like
you all
and
for
subscribe.
joining today. And thank you all for watching today. If you have been watching so far, this was the first episode of NyanCast. We will be making more of these going forward. So stay tuned.